Hello, I'm Ted Nyquist with the Midwest chapter of the American Rhododendron Society. On our website, midwestars.org, we created several video lessons on growing rhododendrons in the upper Midwest. It was suggested that we show examples of gardens located in different areas of our chapter to exhibit how these gardeners achieve success. These first 4 videos by Roger Dunlap are a first and describe his beautiful extensive woodland garden in Traverse City, Michigan.
Hi, I'm Roger Dunlap, past president of the Midwest chapter, American Rhododendron Society. I'm speaking to you today from my home and garden located near Traverse City, Michigan, which is 45 degrees north latitude. Our home is located on the shore of West Grand Traverse Bay. My gardening environment here is benign compared to many Midwestern localities. However, one of the major challenges is the highly alkaline sandy soil, which requires amending of the pH in particular so that fine rhododendrons such as Rhododendron slippenbachii, which you see here, can thrive and bloom. Slippenbachii is hardy to minus 20 degrees below zero. This particular specimen has been growing in sight for the past 10 to 12 years. I'm going to be profiling many other what we classify as good doer rhododendrons in the ensuing video. I'm standing in front of an example of seed that was originally collected in the wild 15 years ago in the mountains of West North Carolina. This is a species of maximum. It was selected for its red flower. I grew this plant on from seed, and the amazing thing about this plant, in addition to its size, is the fact that it will produce different colored flowers on the same plant at the same time, notably white, pink, and red. This is one of a kind. It's not registered, but it's a curiosity. It's an example of a rhododendron with an unstable color gene. I'm standing in front of a well-known hardy rhododendron, especially to Midwest growers. This is called calsap, and it is known for its white flower with a dark purple blotch. It was hybridized by a fellow by the name of Michener and is one of those go-to good doer rhododendrons that I would recommend very highly. Some of you may be wondering when this video is being shot. Well, to answer your question, this is the 3rd week of May in 2016. I'm standing in front of a classic Dexter hybrid called Sandwich Apple Blossom. This is an extremely hardy rhododendron. It can stand up to minus 25 degree temperatures. I am an avid collector of Dexter hybrids. I have 12 of them at the current count. Dexter was a retired industrialist from Massachusetts. He was one of the pioneer hybridizers in America, and he developed a number of Dexter hybrids, many of which he never actually saw to bloom. He died in 1943, but upon his death, a number of rhododendron enthusiasts distributed cuttings throughout the United States to grow on, and which have become standard bearers to this day. In the following slide, I'm going to show you a list of Dexter hybrids that I consider to be good doers. This is a Dexter hybrid called Champagne. In literature, the color is described as being a buff color. Other people believe that it's a combination of yellow and orange. I'll leave it up to you to decide the color. But one interesting aspect of this plant is the leaf color. One of the standards in determining what the proper pH is for this plant is whether the leaf is olive green or not. The lighter the color, the more alkaline the soil is. The closer to olive green, the more optimum the pH of the soil is. A picture of the flower in bloom is to follow. I'm standing in front of another Dexter hybrid called Janet Blair. This particular plant I grew from a cutting that I stuck about 15 years ago. The plant now stands over 5 foot tall. This is a fine example of what bud pruning can do to enhance the habit of a plant. What I mean by bud pruning is by breaking off the vegetative bud on the tip of the branch at this stage of spring. By doing so, I activate the dormant buds that are present at the tip of the twig. This initiates a bud break of 2 or 3 shoots instead of just 1. The overall effect is to make the plant more lush in appearance. And by bud pruning in successive years, you can produce a gorgeous plant habit. A slide of Janet Blair is to follow. I'm delighted to show you a blooming rhododendron. This one is called Spellbinder, and it was hybridized by David Leach. What's distinctive about this particular plant is twofold. One is the height. This particular plant is over 7 feet tall. And the other aspect of it is the tropical-like leaves. They're unusually large and long for a rhododendron. This is definitely what I call a connoisseur's plant. You're looking at a rhododendron species called Yakusomanum. This is a species of rhododendron grown on the Japanese island of Yakushima. This particular plant was acquired from a nursery grower by the name of Lot. And this is a selection of Yakusomanum. This is not a registered hybrid. This particular plant is hardy to minus 25 degrees and can withstand the onslaughts of a upper Midwestern winter. One interesting aspect of the Diacosamanum hybrids is the indumendum, which is a felt-like hairs that underline each leaf. This is an adaptation that this plant uses to collect water in the mountains of Yakushima. In that particular environment, it doesn't rain all that often, but the hills are quite often engulfed in fog, and it's the fog which condenses on the underside of the leaf and then drips down to water the plant. This plant is best displayed so that people can view the underside of the leaf, so it's suggested that you grow this on top of a terrace so that people do not have to bend over too much to appreciate the beauty of the plant. A slide to follow. I'm standing in front of another Dexter hybrid called Wyandanse Pink. This plant epitomizes more than any of my plants in my collection how beautiful and how tall a plant can grow within the space of 15 years. This particular plant is rock hardy to minus 25 degrees, and as you can see, has a gorgeous habit. In summary, in the slides to follow, I will list the various Dexter hybrids and some of the species that I grow that I consider to be good doers in the Michigan area. Although I have a personal preference for large leaf rhododendrons, that doesn't mean that I don't grow small leaf rhododendrons as well. In front of me is a lepidote or small leaf rhododendron called Pioneer Silvery Pink, which is blooming big time this spring, and it makes me very happy to present it to you.
Following this video are three more. The first describes the Dexter hybrids that Roger grows in his garden. The second shows some of the additional rhododendrons he grows other than the Dexters. And in the third, Roger describes how he fertilizes his rhododendrons. I hope you enjoy these further additional videos about his beautiful garden.